What up, yo?
What's up? What's up? We are here early, starting. Who thought that we could start early? Never thought it would happen with us.
I did.
We just don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. What a
I mean,
concept.
we can. Here's the thing. We can do a lot. We
We,
just have to try.
oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. That sounds like a slogan for maybe a channel we should start. Maybe we trying. Who knows?
I don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue. Something we're called we trying.
Yes, yes, indeed.
It's
Um,
almost like we should invest in that.
yeah, maybe.
2025. Let's keep trying.
Let's keep trying. Indeed. That's Leroy. I'm Michael. This is a part
Did we?
two of our press
Yep.
play conversation.
Yep.
You may have to go into the channel and because I think I just went to the same stream, so maybe put a part two to it. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm doing it right now.
There we go. Yeah. So I guess we'll give people a few minutes to get in here. Oh, Kay's already Kay, man, loyal listener, loyal supporter. Kay, we love it. We appreciate it. We started
Just
early,
chill.
but you're here for us. We appreciate it.
Yep. Um.
Yeah, part two.
Oh,
We're talking
sorry.
about.
Tell the people why we're starting early. I mean, give them a, little
Oh,
behind the scenes while people show up.
I mean, well, we're starting early because you suggested starting early. I would have been fine with 9:30.
Yeah, but well, sorry, we're starting early, so because Michael has a hard out at 10:30, and I wanted to make sure we got to everything and gave us a little breather to wrap, so it's not just a, it's over, you know.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
my and tell them about the reason for the hard out because I think people would be interested in.
I have the heart out because I got to go watch cartoons, old school cartoons, especially Pirates of the Dark Water.
Hmm.
Kay, I feel like Kay. I don't know if Kay's ever talked about that, but I feel like that's something she would have watched,
Yeah.
just based on part of her taste of what she knows and stuff she likes. But yeah, Pirates of the Dark Water. Apparently, Amazon Prime has like a Tubi or a freebie where it's like a television service app, right? That gives you a bunch of channels you can watch. And one of the channels is old school cartoons. They're starting the marathon of Pirates of the Dark Water tonight at 10:30, starting with the first episode. And I kind of wanted to watch it because I've always heard about the cartoon. I don't remember it well. I kind of remember bits and pieces of it. So I was like, yeah, we'll watch it. So
Yeah. I damn.
I don't. What are you freaking out about?
So right now I'm watching the Lions versus the Commanders. 23-14 Commanders. Yeah. This would be a huge upset if the Commanders pull this off. Um, so yeah, and the two of the kids are still awake. And that's another reason why we try not to do it so early
Fair enough.
because I'm still trying to drug these children to go to sleep.
Okay, it's called The Pirates of the Dark Water.
Hmm.
Um, it was a cartoon that came out. When did it come out? Pirates of the Dark Water. Let's see.
Late 90s?
1991, early
Oh,
90s
early
supposedly.
90s. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of remember it,
Okay.
but yeah. All right, fair enough. So yeah, part two here. We talked about part one was talking about the 50 greatest games of all time as
Hmm.
picked by Rolling Stone.
Hmm.
We got through 50 through 20.
20.
Um, and I said that was enough. We went for 2 hours. We're going to finish up the top 20 here.
Mhm.
So do you want to just get right back into it, or what's up?
Well, give me your so thinking about it. Has your opinion changed a little bit over the list as you've had to digest it? Do you still feel like, oh, this is a good list, or you feel kind of like, or do
Sir,
you?
I had the memory of what's something with the bad memory. As soon as we stopped talking about this Saturday, I forgot about the list.
So I did. I answered some of the comments, and I'm still going through. So I apologize if I haven't gotten your comment. I've been going through talking to some of the people from the chat and in the comments, and I've kind of evolved a little bit on this list with
Uh-huh.
some of the older games that are on their top 50, and I understand some of them are like game changing games. Some of them are like gaming canon. But I also wonder, do they hold up compared to a newer game? So like, um, I have changed a little bit
So,
on.
so you sound like you're more forgiving of this, maybe?
No, I'm more like, why is this on here and not versus, and I think it was either Ken from Chicago or David Cooper, who brought up, how is this game not on here? How is this like? And then we had to take games off. And I have to be honest with you, there are some games that I'm like, why is this game not on here? Um, um, for me, I think I've said this before. Why is and I don't need it to be the PS5 version. Why isn't Dead Space on this list? So there are a few games that I'm like, that is like, for what it did, that is a great game. And I'm a little disappointed some of these games that I like, that I think that will get in the top 20, I would either move down or up, and I would put one of these games on there.
Okay.
So let's start with 20.
Mario Kart 64.
Do you feel like this
Um,
is the definitive version, or this is the one that should be up there?
so it's interesting because like Mario Kart 8
Hmm.
is the best. I'm pretty sure it's the best selling. It might be the best selling Nintendo game of all time at this point. Chat, let me know, and people can fact check me. If it's not, it's definitely up there. I mean, it started on the Wii U,
Hmm.
didn't do well on there because nobody bought the Wii U except for me and a few other 13 other million people. Then it
Hmm.
went to the Switch, and they said let's release it again with better tracks, upgraded graphics, and
Hold on, I'm gonna let you finish that. But I love the fact that you said, other than me and 13 other million people. Like, if anything gets 13 million people to buy it, that would be a success. But in video games and Nintendo, it's like you're not even top five.
well, I mean that yeah, in video games that's 13 million is not
Yeah,
enough
like that. That's
to
insane. That 13 million people bought. Like, if 13 million people bought buy a Steam Deck, like I'm just comparing the two. Like, I would love to know the numbers for. But yeah, continue. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no. So yeah, us and my 13 million brethren, we bought a Wii U and bought Mario Kart. Then it came out again as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Great game, fantastic. We may or may not talk about the Switch 2. I don't know, but when the Switch 2 was revealed, the game they showed was new Mario Kart because they know this is going to be a system seller.
Hmm.
So I say all that to say I feel like Mario Kart 8 is the definitive one,
Hmm.
but I could understand the logic of Mario Kart 64 because it was on the 64. It kind of upgraded what Super Mario Kart did. The fact that it was on the Nintendo 64 means it's on on a system where it automatically has a four-player base. All you need is extra controllers to play with four people. It was a great party game at the time. I don't know if you played it when it was out, but man, that was something me and my friends played a lot growing up. Mario Kart 64,
Hmm.
playing all the battles and all the different races, trying to find all the shortcuts. It was a lot of fun. So I could see it being there. I probably would have picked Mario Kart 8, but yeah.
And so that's another thing that I guess I really wish they had a companion video to this, to have this discussion of this game, but this version of this game, because this is the definitive version. Um, but no, I've played Mario Kart. I enjoy it, but it's not. I'm not one of those people who is like, I have to have a Nintendo system,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. And this is a game that I don't play by myself. I would only play with like family and friends.
Sure.
So, um,
I mean, I think it's easy to also to make the argument that another reason they may have picked Mario Kart 64 is that it kind of set the standard for mascot kart racers going
Hmm.
forward. People can make the argument that Crash Team Racing has expanded upon it and beaten it, but it started from Mario Kart 64. But people really love Crash Team Racing. People love Sonic Adventure Racing. But again,
Yeah.
that all kind of started from Mario
Hmm.
Kart 64. So I get it.
Also, I was looking it up right now as you were talking. The Steam Deck has sold approximately 3 million units. So that's like that's one of the things that I just like. And IGN just posted a video recently because this uh, um, the Switch 2 was announced,
Hmm.
officially announced, and you were like 13 million. Not a lot of people played it. It's like if 13 million people bought a Steam Deck, like that's just it's so interesting where we are. Um, so yeah, so I I understand the reverence for this game. To me, this game would have been lower.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
this
is where
game.
this is where you drop this lower, kick something else off, and put a Dead Space in
Mhm.
here.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't kicked it off the list. I would have kept it
No,
up.
no, no, not sorry, not this game, but something else that was lower. Kick it off
Oh yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
move this down.
Something
Yeah,
definitely would have gotten something would have gotten kicked off. This would have dropped lower, and Dead Space would have made it on here. But I do understand the nostalgia of this. But again, if we're talking nostalgia, how did GoldenEye not make this list?
is GoldenEye not on the list?
Nope.
Interesting. See, I don't even remember what did and what didn't. I mean,
So I have the
yeah,
list up. I'm looking, and I'm like I'm remembering, and then I have the chat from last
okay,
week when people were commenting, and yeah, the GoldenEye not being on here is like top 50
that's
game. Yeah,
that's wild. Yeah, that's wild.
like you wouldn't get Fortnite, you wouldn't have had any of these other deathmatch, PUBG, extraction shooters without GoldenEye. And GoldenEye was
That's
fun.
an interesting take
What?
that those wouldn't exist without GoldenEye.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't know
yeah.
if I agree, but I'm not gonna. That's okay. That's cool.
Because here's the thing: GoldenEye was the first. Like you had LAN games, you had LAN party games, you had other games, but I think GoldenEye was the first time that tapped into that whole multiplayer shooting people in the face, that feeling on a console, and then that feeling morphed and infected the rest of gaming and showed people this is something that could be done. And the fact that it's not up there. Sorry, another tangent. So let's go to the next one.
Hmm.
19 is that Boulder's Gate?
Baldur's Gate 3. It did win Game of the Year last year at a bunch of places, including the Video Game Awards.
I am quite
That is a
fine
game I
with.
have not played.
I'm perfectly fine with it being right here.
Okay.
There's on one of my sports shows that I can't remember which one. They do this thing where they go underrated, properly rated, overrated.
Uh huh.
And based on the list, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I haven't played this one. To like, it should be. It should. So I'm just gonna say properly rated.
I would agree with that. It is on my list of games to play. I still have the free trial for being part of a PlayStation Premium or whatever, but I haven't started it yet. But that is something I do want to play, and I'd like it because I think you can do it from PC and chat. Let me know. I think it is cross-platform, but you can play it as a multiplayer game. Like you control one of the characters, and other people control the other characters without it
Interesting.
being control CP. Yeah, I think that's pretty
That
cool.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Fellas, we need a schedule. Herbert, I mean, if we had a schedule, we'd be dangerous, man.
if we had a schedule, we'd
That's
be
how I look at it.
profitable.
Yeah, if we had a schedule, y'all would better watch out.
We'd be profitable.
I better watch out.
um,
Yeah,
so yeah, Baldur's Gate. I'm definitely a properly rated person on this one. It's on my list. I haven't bought it yet because I'm cheap now when it comes to games,
sure.
and I'm like, it's got to be 40 and below for me to get something because like it's gonna sit on the shelf for a while.
I agree with you. I got a bunch of different gift cards to a bunch of different ecosystems like the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store for Christmas, and I'm kind of just even though the money is essentially free because I got it for Christmas, I still want to hold on to it and be cheap with it and get games on
Yeah,
sale. because of it. So yeah,
So when you talk about gaming, I bought this because it was on sale, and this was my Christmas gift to myself. Um, I think I might have paid 40. I might have paid 50. I'm not sure.
hmm
I had it like a gift card, but I had it. It was cheap. I'm telling you right now, I stopped playing it and then went back to playing. Oh man, I didn't even bring it. It's over there. Mad at myself. I went back to finish because the trailer came out and I was so excited. I went back to finish the two play the two Last of Us games
of course you did,
because this is
because
too.
you hate yourself and you want to be in a world where the world is depressing.
Actually, that world makes more sense than this one. That's that's how bad we are.
Yeah,
That world makes more sense than this one because right now at the crypto inaugural Trump ball, Rick Ross, Snoop, Nelly, and Ashanti are performing, and I don't know how we ended up in this timeline.
people paid out them sent out them checks.
I feel like when we turned on the collider, it we switched timelines.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like we're no longer in. I feel like when Rick and Morty, I feel like we're in the upside down. We're in the goo, whatever you want to call it. It's
hmm
I can't. But so yeah, Madden 2004.
See, this is one where I understand why Madden game's on here. I don't know which one to pick though. I'm not a
See,
connoisseur to know. So sure,
that's
if they say so.
and here's the thing. I almost want to, and this is where I kind of want to be like, I need to know why. Because if it, why 2004? And I also want to, I want to know who's on the, I need to look up who's on the cover. Let me look.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I'll read this real quick for the thing. But out of all the installments, 2004 holds a special place for many as the one that
yep, that was
introduced
Vic.
owner mode. That was Vic. Ooh, I own that one.
Yep.
I'll say this: I did enjoy that game. So, it introduced owner mode, taking the action beyond the field into controlling a franchise, right down to the hot dog sales.
Okay, I'll give you that one. So this is the reason why. Like I, you know my take on this. Um, I feel like this is one of those games I would have no problem with them making a base game and it's a live service game and every year is DLC.
Yeah,
Stop selling like that. Like to me, they EA would make more so much more money if they did it that way. You buy
like
an
we said for
install disc,
wrestling games.
install disc.
hmm
You know what? Madden should be Fortnite. If they like, if EA, if you see this, you need to hire me. Madden should be Fortnite, and they should do concerts in Madden. Like they should every year, the top 20, the top whatever people, and they should do a Madden tournament with your top 50 worldwide, and you eat, and you make a Super Bowl.
Okay,
And
okay.
so and just like so, there's like here, I'm gonna go down the spiral real quick. Time me. Give me 2 minutes. Madden should have a lobby, and each team, each division, so if you line up factions, so you say, okay, I'm joining this faction. I am the Eagles, right? So you're in the Eagles. You play with the Eagles. You have your version of the Eagles. That's your team. Out of your faction, the top rated people are then matched with other people, and you will represent the Eagles in your division depending on your skill set. And you people play 17 games that year, and whoever's the top, you win a Super Bowl at the end of that year.
Do we know that that doesn't already exist? Because I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like there are Madden champions, there's Madden challenges, there's like official where they go around, but I'm talking in the actual Madden game. Like there's like and then in Fortnite you do the same thing. So remember how Beyonce performed on Netflix?
hmm
You get people to perform during your halftime of your game. So whatever game on Twitch is the one that's streaming, you get somebody to
1 minute.
perform in the game and you broadcast that on an ESPN channel on an ESPN channel or Fox Sports or one of the like the ESPN threes or whatever. And then you also stream that on YouTube, you stream it on Twitch, and you stream it on Instagram, and you actually have actual players participating, commenting, and you do something like a Manning cast. So you get somebody like somebody who's like off the wall. You pay like some you get somebody to have a Manning cast who actually knows Madden, and you do that for games.
Okay.
Boom. Also, can you hear that baby?
I cannot.
Okay, cool. Can y'all hear that baby? Let me know if y'all can hear that baby. I'll tell my wife to get him. Okay, I'm done. Continue.
All right. Yeah, Madden 2004. They told us why they picked that one. Okay, what's next on the list?
Also, I would have honorable mentions. NFL Street and K is right. Blitz should have been on here. Uh,
17, Diablo 2. Now, this one I understand because I feel like when people talk about Diablo, they they talk about Diablo 2 as that's the peak.
yes, because three
Diablo
is the
3
one
was
that
good, but
and then they
it
ruined it.
didn't hit like Diablo 2.
Remember they ruined it, and then Diablo 4 came out, and then everybody was like, "Oh, it's going to be better," and then and then I don't want to say they bricked it, but then they messed that one up too.
Yeah.
So
So
I have.
Diablo 2. I like Diablo, and I like the
Mhm,
idea of a. I don't know. It's not a. Is it a CRPG? I don't know. It's whichever one, like a mouse clicker almost, but I know there's a better term for it than call it a mouse clicker. But essentially, you're clicking your mouse all over the screen to beat up people and level up gear slightly. I do like Diablo. K says I love Diablo 2 and put that on my top 10. Diablo 2. I mean, depending on how expansive you want to get into it, you can kind of play it in the background depending on the difficulty where you're watching other stuff, where you're leveling up
mhm.
your grinding your gear and stuff, or if you want to really go into those harder levels and finding that really exquisite gear or that rare loot. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I This is another one where I'm not. I have no.
ARPG for action RPG. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm not. I have no. I have no dog in this fight. My fight is later on, but I feel like this one is probably properly rated, but I would not have a problem if it moved down. It's not high up as. I'm glad it's not high up because I would have had a problem probably if it was higher up, but I'm not upset that it's as high as it is. Um, 16, I'm interested in your take because 16, 15, and 16, I have issues.
16 Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, it's a good game. It's a long game. I still haven't actually beaten the game because it's so long.
Yeah, because you spend
Uh,
so much time goddamn fishing and buying pelts.
but that's so much fun. It's fun living out in the frontier, getting those legendary pelts and fishing and doing all that stuff. I have done pretty much all of the side missions, um, but yeah, I haven't finished the game. But it's great.
Hmm.
Um, I think the way it kind of took over the video game world for those months and possibly a year, because I think that came out the same time. Yeah, it came out the same year as 2018's God of War, because those two kept getting. It was essentially God of War or Red Redemption 2 for games at the Video Game Awards.
Hmm.
I think Red Dead Redemption 2 won most of them, and then at the end of the night when they did Game of the Year, it went to
God of
God of
War
War,
one.
and people were like, "Oh yeah." But I mean, when Rockstar goes in on a game, they go in on a game. It does everything. It is so detailed and immaculate. Maybe immaculate for too much. It's a slower paced game than what people would expect from the people who make Grand Theft Auto, and I think that probably turned people off. But if you want to live out in the Wild West, that's the game to do it.
Um, I have no problem with this as ranked, but I have a problem that God of War is 39 and this is 16. Because for the thing you just said, that these came out at the same time and the stories are two totally different, but they were always compared to one another as far as like challenging and advancing video game storylines. The fact that God of War is 39 and this is 16, I have very big qualms, especially considering the story. And here's the
Wait,
thing.
the story of God of War?
Hmm.
That is so interesting because Did we talk about this last week? How like when it came out? Because you haven't played it since you've had kids, right? Or you have
No.
God of War?
Mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm.
Because I remember we talked about that, and you were like, "Yeah, it's fun." And then I remember you had your first son, and I was like, "I wonder if the game would hit you differently now."
It probably would. Because I enjoyed it, but I told you, um, uh, the boy got on my nerves, and
He's a
that
child.
they get on my nerves, and they're my children.
I mean, yeah.
Like m- the biggest problem, the biggest fight me and my wife have right now is in how we discipline the children because of how I was raised versus how she was raised, and there's a
Hmm.
cultural difference because she is white and I'm black, and I was raised by a Marine and she was not.
Hmm.
So I'm from the generation of children are seen, not heard. You do what I say when I tell you to do it. Like that's it's hard to break that cycle. Um, and she's very different. She likes to have conversations and give choices and try to work on their feelings. And I'm like, hey man, you need to take a tall glass and shut the hell up.
There we
and,
go.
and so as I played that game, the child got on my nerves, but I also understood what was going on even though it didn't affect me personally. But I agree with you that it probably will, and I'm actually going to play it again because what I want to do is I want to get time to play that one and Ragnarok right afterwards, like I'm doing with Last of Us 1 and 2.
Here's my producer brain working. You should stream that on Twitch.
What, the God of War?
Yeah, you playing it.
Oh, I mean, I have a camera somewhere around here. Katie got it from me for my birthday, so I
Yeah,
probably could.
we should get you streaming that.
Yeah.
People would watch that.
So yeah, I that so this is so here's where my problems lie. I thought that if you're gonna put Red Dead up this high up, I thought God of War should be up there. And here's a game that I know a lot of people are gonna have some feelings about. I would have dropped The Witcher down 15. I would have.
This is on my games that I own that I haven't played. That's probably still
I've
wrapped up because I got it for
I've
super
played
cheap.
it. I've finished it. I've played all the DLC.
Hmm.
I love this game. I don't think it's 15.
Okay.
I
Kay says
don't.
stream it and she'll watch. There we go. We got one
Okay.
viewer. There we go.
Um, yeah. I love this game. I love Geralt. I did not play the other games. I did watch the series. Um, I think this is a very good game.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna knock it for being on in the top 20. I don't think it should be higher than God of War. I don't think it should be higher than some other games that's up here. Um, but I get it. I honestly don't think it should be higher than. Uh, I don't think it should be higher than any of the Mass Effect games.
That might be a hot take. I don't. That's interesting.
I mean,
I don't have a
but
dog in that fight, but that's an interesting take.
yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I and here's the thing. I love Witcher 3.
Hmm.
I loved Siri in this. I loved his, but I think this game being this high up, it should come down. But
Okay.
that's just me.
All right.
Mm. Kay says she would lower it also. Kay, would you leave it in the top 20? Because for me, I wouldn't even leave it in the top 20.
Dang.
Y'all, it is 31 to 21. The Commanders are up.
You said, and they're playing against who?
Um, sorry. Say it again.
Who are the Commanders playing?
Oh, Detroit.
Detroit. Okay.
Um,
Who's quarterback for the Lions?
Jared Goff.
Okay, the guy that was on the Rams
Yes,
and switched. Yeah. Okay, got it.
he
I know
switched.
some sports ball.
He got shipped out.
Fair
They
enough.
sent his ass packing.
Fair enough.
14 Street Fighter 2.
Here, this is interesting to me. And I think we talked about this last week as we kind of looked forward. I think Street Fighter is the only fighting game on this list.
It is
Um,
because I think Ken from Chicago. I want to go back and look. He brought up Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I get why Street Fighter is on list. I mean, if you're gonna pick one, this probably is the one to pick in terms of being influential, right? I mean,
But
I don't know how many people have played Street Fighter One compared to Street Fighter Two, but it is such a different game. Street Fighter One is really as a single player game. You're playing as Ryu and you're fighting four or five different people.
here's
Street
the
Fighter
funny
Two
thing.
introduced so much stuff.
I have the original Street Fighter as a computer game on a floppy disk. When Street Fighter 2 came out, because I
Hmm.
remember we had the box when we had our old studio, and
Hmm.
I brought
Hmm.
it, and you were like, "What is this?" And I was like, "That's Street Fighter," and you were
Yeah,
like, "I did not know Street Fighter 2 was the sequel to the game I played back in the day."
yeah, because it is very different.
Like I had no like it. I honestly had no idea that that game was the same game. Now here's my question: why this one? Because personally, and I'm biased because that's the game that I enjoyed because of the system it was on. I would have put Street Fighter Alpha up there.
Oh well, here's the.
And
I feel
so,
like I think this is a question where we can go back and forth, right? Because
mhm,
it goes back to your idea of, oh, they should have a, and I don't know that Rolling Stone didn't do this. I didn't do the research, but they should have a separate video podcast that explains their reasoning more than just a little three
yes,
paragraph blurbs. But I think it's widely considered Street Fighter Alpha 3 is probably the most beloved Street Fighter game, I think.
mhm,
Um, but you don't get that without Street Fighter 2. And I think that's the reason is like this is what started it all. You got here, and then everything else kind of branched off of that. Um, you got your Tekkens, you got everything else, you got your virtual fighters, you got all that stuff because of Street Fighter 2, and them saying, oh, we can do a 1v1 fighting game, give people complex combinations of moves, and even have a rudimentary combo system in there.
hold on. Ken from Chicago, when I tell you go back and watch, and if you've ever played the original Street Fighter, no, that was not a big enough hint that this is because when you play the original Street Fighter, you don't realize that Street Fighter 2 is like they're almost totally different games. I mean, actually, no, they are totally like they are to call it Street Fighter 2 to me is almost a misnomer. So that's me. I'm with you going back to your Street Fighter out like that's why I would love to know why Street Fighter 2
Hmm.
because if you're talking gameplay, Alpha all day.
Oh, sure, yeah.
The characters, the art design, the system that it was on. Um, I because here's the thing, Dreamcast ain't anywhere on this list, and I think that well, let me take it back. Dreamcast is on the list at the end of like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, right? Or
You're saying
um,
that there isn't like a definitive Dreamcast game on here?
yes, and
Sure.
so like it that like for me that's where I would have why I would have put that on this list. If you're talking the top 50 of games of all time, that's for me. But I do understand that. Now, would I have put this 14? No, this would have dropped as well. If if it's not 3, if it's not alpha, if it's not I would have dropped this game out of the top 20.
Okay. Leroy's got these hard choices here.
I'm just saying like I would have dropped this because it's not that version of the game. Now, here's one, Doom. The original, and this is what I love, the original Doom MS DOS.
Yeah. I remember playing Doom like, oh, this is cool. And I remember like the first time I kind of just ran into a wall and somehow got there was a side panel that let me go somewhere else inside the level. I thought that was very cool and creative. I was like, oh, there are more levels like this? Yeah, there's all kinds of secrets to be found within Doom
Mhm.
that aren't necessarily just hidden.
Here's the thing. Why Doom and not Cavill and not Wolfenstein?
Um,
To
I think when people talk about that, I feel like it's more, and I don't know which came out first, Doom or Wolfenstein. I don't know. Um, we could easily look it up. But to me,
Mhm.
I feel like Doom guy is a known quantity. People
Yes.
don't really talk about BJ Blazkowicz like that. Like if you're in video games, you know, But I
Yeah.
feel like Doom guy may be more well known outside of the video game circle compared to BJ Blazkowicz. So in my mind, I feel like that's why they go with Doom over Wolfenstein.
Okay. I'm just asking because I liked Capo, and that's why I said I like Wolfenstein more. And Kay brings up a very good question. What about Quake? Um, which is interesting that we do not have a new Quake, considering Quake was built on Unreal, and Quake was basically made to sell Unreal, and we have still have the
Wolfenstein
Unreal.
was first. Okay, thank you, Ken.
It's interesting that's this is why I really would love to have the talking about this because I want to know more about that, like why
Hmm.
they chose this one versus that one. Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know I could do that. Okay. Um,
I love it. Every day is your first day with the system.
hey man, you got to find your happiness in uh, very, very um, what's the word I'm looking for? You gotta have low expectations, man.
Okay,
So little things make me happy. 12,
okay,
World of
got it.
Warcraft.
I mean, I get it. It's this is a game that I never played. It's not for me, but I can't argue with significance. Whether it should be higher or lower, I don't know. Top 20, I get that for sure. Um, People are still Activision or now Microsoft is still eating off of World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah,
It's been going so long, and they've done so many expansions that they did a WoW Classic because people want to go back to that again, and people are playing it like it's the first time. So I mean,
hmm
yeah, and I think that gave us. I know World of Warcraft wasn't first. I'm pretty sure Ultima Online was first, but World of Warcraft is kind of the one that figured out the formula and got people to really get invested in it and get other people to kind of follow that.
and people making yeah, like you said, making other games. You know, like your League of Legends, your Dotas, your like these games owe their existence to World of Warcraft. Now, here's my question
Hmm.
to you, and it could be rhetorical. You may not have this answer. Should it be this high up? Should this game be this high up?
So I was
Should it
looking
be?
outside my window because I thought there might be a fire going on in Wendy's neighborhood. I don't know.
Okay,
Interesting.
must be
Should it be this
Texans
high up?
fans.
Must be who?
Texans fans, they lost.
Oh, okay, got it. Um, I don't. I'm okay with it being this high. I get it. I get its significance.
Okay,
The MMO really found its footing with WoW, and like I said, it continues to expand. I don't know how many
I'm
people are playing WoW now compared to when it first started, but it's still going.
like I said, I'm only asking it just because now we're talking about placement and World of Warcraft being 12 and some of these other games. I'm wondering, are these games the canon that's up there? Like, we're about to hit some games where I'm like, okay, I don't have a problem with them being in the top 20. So, like, right now, we're going to do 11 Halo Combat Evolved. I don't have a problem with Halo being up there because it was definitely something different when it came out.
And I wonder, so they didn't do GoldenEye.
hmm
Do we think Halo is their thing of like, okay, we're not doing GoldenEye, we are doing Halo though?
But
Because
see,
Halo
here,
kind of did not not storyline wise, but aesthetically of what you want a party game, LAN atmosphere, four players in one system. Halo was doing all that, and they refined it more than GoldenEye. I don't know.
here's the thing, and this is so here's where the rub, the whatever you want to call it, catapulting Microsoft to smash and success in the world of video games, Halo Combat Evolved utterly raised the bar. Before its release, first person shooters were largely played on PCs, but the incredible work of the developers at the studio Bungie was nothing short of a revelation, a start look at the future games could have on consoles. And this is where I'm like, okay, that's true if you discount GoldenEye. And this is where I'm like, if you can say that,
Mm,
if you can't tell me first person shooters this see that's what I'm saying. And that's you can't have Halo without GoldenEye.
I don't know if that's true.
Because here's why. Because by their own admission, before its release, first person shooters were largely played on PCs.
Yeah,
True. And it says a stark look at the future games could have on consoles. GoldenEye already showed you that. So that's what I'm saying. In other words, yes, I agree with you. And again, I would have had this in that spot. I would have put Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 in 10 spot. I would have moved Halo down, and I would have put GoldenEye on this list as well.
Okay.
Because if in everything they're talking about, I understand. And this is where I said, to me, there's a little bit of not revisionist history, because there is that going on, but it's also this game is representing this, and this is the first one to do it, or one of the originators, so we're going to go with this. Because here's the thing at the bottom, like Halo is gripping from start to finish like a nail-biting moments of fighting parasitic aliens or breakneck escape out of exploding ship, coupled with its diverse suite of multiplayer options from deathmatch to capture the flag, and even left a lasting impact through other media like the fan-made series Red versus Blue. Kay said it. GoldenEye crawled so Halo could run, or I
Sure.
would say walk. And but I in that place, I would put Call of Duty because I've played all of them and I liked Halo, but Halo did nothing like this did. When this came out, this changed the game for me.
Mhm.
So that's where I would say, would I keep it in the would I keep it in the top 10? No. Top 20? Yes. But it
Well, it is in the
definitely
top. It is in the top 20
would I would it would be I would have dropped this.
to move Call of Duty higher.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Uh Now here's where I these games run together for me. The Mega Mans, the Super Metroids, all of that. These so I have no opinion one way or another.
Okay. Number 10, Super Metroid.
Hmm.
We talked about it last week. We talked about Metroidvania. Metroid is the first part you hear in the castle out of that Castlevania.
Yep.
I mean, Metroid started it all, did all this stuff. Super Metroid. It is still a game that I think is run at every AGDQ, either every other one or every one, the speed running festival, speed game running festival, or whatever. It's run every year. People find more and more ways to, I don't know what the record is now, but it's something super stupid compared to playing 6+ hours or whatever it is, people beating it in like 20, 30 minutes or something. I don't know, something crazy.
Hmm.
People finding ways to break the game and cut through boundaries and do things that you're not supposed to be able to do. Super Metroid is great. Um, that is a game that I don't think I've beaten. I can't remember. I'm pretty close. I picked it up again when it was on like Virtual Console for not the Wii, maybe when I bought it on the Switch and I played it and really enjoyed it, but I never went back to it.
Okay. Um,
Um, yeah, Super Metroid, good stuff. What was the next one? Oh,
Go
that's
ahead.
interesting that you said Metroid and Mega Man kind of run together because I will tell you, granted, you're a person, you're shooting stuff, but like what you actually do in them are definitely different. Like the idea of using boss weapons to beat other bosses was at the time revolutionary when the first Mega Man came out and Mega Man 2 and all that stuff. But yeah,
Like I guess that what I'm saying is the whole like it was, but to me at the end of the day, it was still a side scroller. If that makes any sense. Like to me, like this may sound at the time it was one of those things where I was like, okay, this is to me the side scroller that caught on was the one, whatever one was that was your aesthetic. So if you like vampires, you gravitated towards Castlevania side scroller, like the whip. If you like guns, you gravitated towards Contra. If you gravitated towards sci-fi, you if you like sci-fi more, you would gravitate more towards Metroid and Mega Man. If that seemed like that makes sense, if you were, and so that's why I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not saying I'm relying on the experts because I have a real big problem with the experts in their list, but I understand why it's this high
Number 9, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim.
up.
We could talk about this one. I never played Skyrim.
I love Skyrim. I enjoyed it.
A
Um,
lot of people do.
I have no problem with this one. I've played Skyrim. I enjoyed it. I actually played Morrowind first. The woman that I was dating at the time had an Xbox, and
Mhm.
She played Morrowind, and I did not see the. I was like, it's okay. And then Skyrim came, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
Did you
I
ever
was
go
like,
back and play Morrowind or no?
nope,
Okay.
nope. I was like, mm-mm. It's like, why go back and date your ex when you're married?
Okay. Cool.
We
Somebody
should
clip
have an
that out
edit.
and make
I
that
know we should
somebody.
have an edit. And be like,
Yeah,
did you go
somebody
back to play
clip
more?
that.
No, why would I? I'm quite sure
That's
there's some people.
fantastic.
I'm quite sure there's some keyboard people out there like keyboard cat. What would you like? Whatever, man.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed Morrowind. It was okay, but it was one of those things where it's like it didn't hit me until
Hmm.
Skyrim. In the beginning of Skyrim, I know like now it's annoying once you've beaten it, like the whole Dragonborn and riding in the cart and all that stuff. But that beginning was just like, what is going on? You
Hmm.
know, where you had to like pick your race and the dragon shows up, you got to get out of the dungeon and then like all of these different things that they put into the game that you did not know until you finished the game and then came back and if you went this way, this happened. It's I have no problem where this game is.
Okay. Let's keep
Yep.
moving. Oh, for folks who came into the chat later, I have a hard out time of 10:30 because I got to go watch cartoons. So that's why
Yep.
we're
So we
speeding
got
through this.
25 minutes.
Um, Final Fantasy 7 at number 8.
Take the floor. This is all you.
Here's the thing. I'm not mad at this because even for people who have followed us on our old channel and the new channel now, know my history with Final Fantasy 7. When I first played Final Fantasy 7, it was at a friend's house who got a PlayStation and this game for his birthday. We played it. We didn't have a memory card because
Mhm.
people were still trying to figure out like what you needed to do everything right. The idea of memory cards were alien, so we didn't know we necessarily needed one because before you had a cartridge on Super Nintendo, it would save to the cartridge. We didn't know you needed a memory card. So we played 4 or 5 hours of it, liked it, turned it off, started it again, realizing, oh, you need stuff to actually do whatever. And I think we started up again, and I think his mom went out and got a memory card so he could save the data the second time we played it. Um, I thought it was okay. Time went by, stopped playing it, and then it just kept getting more and more popular. For me, it wasn't the first RPG I played or the first Final Fantasy I played. That was Final Fantasy 6/3 here in the U.S. So for me, that always holds a bigger place in my heart. At the time, and even for like the next 20 years, I didn't really get the appeal of Final Fantasy 7 because I wasn't in a place emotionally enough to understand what was going on. I was like, this game kind of sucks. I don't get why people love it so much. I think Final Fantasy 6 is better. I can I realize I was wrong now. Um, and part of that was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, playing that, loving that, and then going back and playing Final Fantasy VII. Like, oh, this game really is good. It's just you got to be in the right place and be emotionally smart enough to realize what's going on. Um, so I'm happy with it being there. I get it. I realize what it did. Granted, we had RPGs in the West for a while, but this is the one that really introduced RPGs to a lot of people. I remember those commercials when they
I
came out.
remember.
Like, look at this little polygon dude on a train speeding through some like steampunk type city. This is cool. Look at these graphics. Yeah, it was great.
Sephiroth is what like I definitely remember him and all and just I remember the different characters, and to me, seven is the one because remember they did the anime that came out afterwards, a sequel to the actual game. Like seven is the one. I have no problem with seven being this high up
Okay.
with it, and I'm actually shocked it's not higher.
Okay. Um, let's keep going.
Metal Gear
Here
Solid
we
should be five.
go. You said it should be number 5.
Should be five.
Okay. Well, right now it's 7.
Yep.
Metal Gear Solid. That what a game! I
Yep.
want to go back and play the. I think you probably did play these. I think you told me that you played like Metal Gear One and Two, right, before Solid, or
No, I
no?
played Solid first. I can tell you
Okay,
where
so
I
you
was.
never.
So
You were on a
I
submarine, right?
no, I was on a ship when I played Metal Gear Solid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So somebody else was playing it, and then I played it after them. Um, I so yeah, Snake Eater, Sons of Liberty, like the original PS2. Um, Substance. Like I have three. I have the original somewhere with the double disc thingy. Um,
Hmm.
this to me should be five.
Well, I
I
guess
would
we need
put
to
this at
talk
five.
about the other ones that are coming up then to make that make sense.
What do you mean?
You're saying it needs to be five, but we don't know what five and six are yet. So I guess we need to talk about those to
Okay, yeah,
so we can talk about that.
so I would definitely put this further up at seven. Like it's definitely top 10. It still holds up. I understand them remaking Snake Eater because I want a total ground up. If you're gonna do solid, I want a total ground up.
Hmm.
I want I want all I want it to look. If you're gonna do solid, it should look like five. It should have those graphics, kind of like what they did with Resident Evil. Start from the bottom. Now we're here. Um, but we can get to six.
Number six.
I have no problem with Half Life Two being in the top 10. I have no problem with it being number six. I would have put now here's where because there's two games I'm dropping out of the top five. Half Life Two would be four. Would be four or six. Like like it's in that like it's properly rated. I remember when Half Life Two came out. I built a PC. I bought a PC and built it or upgraded it to play this game.
Okay.
Um, I thought I, Half Life Two properly rated. I love this game. Um,
I didn't have a I didn't really become a PC playing person until later in life. So this
mhm.
was at a time when I didn't have a PC that would have played Half Life 2. So I've never played Half Life 2.
It is great. The
That's what
gravity
I've
gun.
heard.
The gravity gun like was to me the gravity gun was one of those things where it's like a first person shooter. So most of the times you have a weapon. You're always shooting stuff. This was the idea of this game was one of those where it's like it's not always a gun, so to speak. Like you're just
Hmm.
shooting people in the face. Um, the story made sense, and Half Life Two goes into that genre of it was the story. The gameplay was great, but it was the story and the other characters that made this game what it is. Um,
Okay.
Five. I already said what number five should be.
Well, they said the five is The Last of Us. So
Hmm
I'm curious. I know how much you talked about it as soon as this stream started, how you replayed Last of Us 1 and 2 recently, right?
Yep.
So I mean they
Uh,
have a special place in your heart.
Playing this right now.
Hmm.
Just finished this. This is my number one game.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. So like like I respect them for putting it as five. I respect them. They're wrong, but it would be number one for me. And also, you know how I felt about this game when it came out. You know how long it took me to finish this game.
Hmm.
This should have made the list. That like as I'm playing this now, and this game hits differently now that I'm older.
Hmm.
I still feel a certain way playing it as Abby. I understand Abby more now, and uh, friend of the show, girlfriend reviews, when they did a talking about the game, it made me want to go back and play it. And they're the ones who made me finish the game. Go back
Hmm.
because I bitched about this for the longest time. Um, I think The Last of Us Part One should be number one.
Okay.
What about you?
This is a game that really doesn't mean a lot to me because I don't play games like this. I don't like the way I don't like
Hmm.
the tension and stuff like that. That I've talked about this a lot, either on this channel and the previous channels. I don't like that tension, so I don't play games like this. I don't play games like Resident Evil because I don't like feeling like that when I play a game. I saw this as somebody when somebody did a let's play, so I watched the story
Hmm.
that way. So I enjoyed the story, but like actually playing the game doesn't mean anything to me because I didn't do it. Um, I think it's a good story. I kind of think it's oppressive, and I get maybe that's part of the point. And I've heard the argument that really it's about hope. I mean, I guess it is in the end because there is something hopeful, but it's like there is a lot of oppression you got to get through to get to the hope, and I kind of over it. Um, yeah,
Homeworld, interesting. Kay, you take care. Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up in about 10 minutes. Um, yeah, so for me, The Last of Us represents something different every time I've played it.
hmm
The first time I played it was just a great story, and it was one of those stories that it was a human story that just blew me away. I didn't have kids when the first time I played it. I just played it recently, and I played the remastered PS5, and we can get into the remasters and remakes and all that other stuff. I almost teared up when Sarah died when you get shot in the beginning.
I guess spoilers for everybody.
I mean, you, it's part of the game. It's part of the trailer. If you didn't know that, that's on you. Um,
That's you can't say it's on you if you didn't know that.
yeah, it is. The whole point of the game is the fact of the surrogate daughter because his first daughter gets killed in the beginning of the game. Like it, it's literally probably on the box.
It's not. Shut up. It's not on the box.
I'm looking right now. Hold on. No, it's not. But
Of
anyway,
course, it's not.
but and I'm not gonna belabor the point because we still got four more games to get to, and we have to do a wrap. Um, this game meant so much to me in the fact of storytelling, and it was, and I'm, and forgive me when I say this if this is not articulated correctly, but to me, this was the game. Not only was it a great game, and I do believe Naughty Dog is the experts on this, as well as Rockstar and a few other games, Santa Monica Studios. I would also put uh, who somebody else up there. I'm trying to think of Ghost of Tsushima people. Um,
Sucker Punch.
Sucker, yeah, sorry, I did say Santa Monica, Sucker Punch, and Naughty Dog. I'd say they are the three experts in this. Um, it's not a spoiler. Uh, I sounded like Arnold just now when he yelled out, "It's not a tumor." Um, this proved that video gaming was it was a medium where you could tell these stories where it was like gaming grew up, and it's like every genre has this moment where you're like, this is art, this is storytelling at its finest. um to me, that's what Last of Us was. I think you could actually play it. I think you yourself could actually play it, um, and enjoy it. I do believe now. I don't think you could get through two. I think two is a little too dark even for you. Um, but this game to me is number one.
Okay.
Uh, what's next?
Number four, Super Mario World.
Not even top five for me. Go.
You
What's your
don't have a
opinion?
heart. I mean, Super Mario World. You don't have a heart. I think we've established that. Super
I
Mario
mean, I have a
World
heart.
is like
I,
is the platformer's platformer. It's what everybody's trying to emulate. And granted, we've gotten better platformers now, but when Super Mario World came out, all the secrets you could find, the ways the different warps were. People love Super Mario Brothers 3. Super Mario World said, "Hold my beer." It looks better. It plays better. Um,
I'm a three guy.
I know you are. You don't know any better. You have no taste. But Super Mario World was great. The music, oh my goodness. Super Mario World's fantastic. Not even your top five. Get out of here.
It's not.
Would it be your top 50?
Oh, it's definitely top 10 Super Mario World. But again, I've
Okay.
said three should be on this list, and it's not.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think Super Mario World just hit the nail on the head in terms of once, especially when you get to a new system from NES, because we had the 8-bit platform or the 8-bit system, and then we moved to
Mhm.
16-bit. You're like, look at all the colors, look at the worlds, look at the design, look at the
I agree.
Yoshi model and everything you could do. I
Here's
mean,
the thing. I agree with everything you just said. I just don't think it's I just don't think Super Mario World, out of all the games that we've ever gotten, is number 4. Yeah, like I told you, I would have dropped this out of its top 10 possibly, but there's
okay,
no way in the world you're going to tell me Super Mario World is better than Half-Life 2.
they just did though.
I
This
know.
list just told you that.
I know it did, and I've said this several times. This list is wrong.
All right, number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. That's a great game. That game that continues to make money. That's
Here's the
still
thing.
printing money.
I have never finished this game. I never will. They've remade it several times. Guess what? Think it should be higher. Grand Theft Auto 5 should be 2.
I'm about to say, I mean, it can only be 2 based on what you've told us on your
To
list.
me, Grand Theft Auto 5 should be 2. Last of
Okay.
Us for me is 1. This is 2. We can fight over 3, 4, all the rest of them, but this would be 2 for me. Um,
I think
I
Grand Theft Auto 5 really hit it out of the park in terms of
yes.
it gave us, well, for one, being able to switch between the three characters, which was awesome.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I'm sure there's probably a dice conversation about this, but like the technology to, if you're playing as one of the characters and you switch and they're already kind of doing something else, and you're like, a lot of times just seeing, and I can't remember, it was Franklin, Michael, and who was the crazy one?
Oh, he has a weird name too, like
Did they say it in
Eugene
the
or some
thing?
shit like that. Um,
Oh, was it Trevor?
yes,
Trevor. Yeah,
yes.
playing as Franklin, doing
Hold on.
something, stealing a car, doing whatever, and
Trevor's a
then switching.
psycho. He's not
Yes,
crazy. Trevor's a fucking psycho.
they call him psychotic in that's the adjective they use in here, Trevor. And switching to Trevor and him being on a bender somewhere in his underwear as you play, you're like, what was he doing before? It
Mhm.
it the idea of emergent storylines in that game was fantastic. Grand Theft Auto 6, I can't wait for, and GTA Online, again, the game that continues to go.
Yep.
And yeah, yeah.
Um, Here's the thing that I think too. A lot of people and Cyberpunk did it as well. The soundtrack,
Hmm.
the sound, like changing to the different stations, like the different music, the updates, the DLC. To me, this is why this game is number 2, because every other game that is an open world game is trying to emulate it. Whether it's Red Dead 2, whether it's Cyberpunk, whether it's The Witcher 3, everything else is trying to emulate Grand Theft Auto 5. Whether it's Just Cause, the Far Cry games, everyone wants to be Grand Theft Auto 5.
I agree with that.
And I and no one is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Cool. Number
And
2. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, and in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, and nobody has done it. And
Okay.
number 2 wouldn't even be top 10.
You don't know video games. Number 2, Tetris. That's fine.
Really?
Tetris is so good.
It's not
Tetris
it,
is so
for it
good.
to say Tetris is top 2 is to say Tetris is a better game, narrative storytelling, than everything else that's below it, and that is objectively false.
That's not
And if
what it's
you
saying.
use, yes, it
That's
is.
not what it's saying. No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not. It is not saying it has a better narrative. That's
No,
not
it's
what
saying it's a better
that's not what
game.
it's saying.
No, what it's saying is a better game, and I'm telling you, it is not a better game because it has no narrative.
It doesn't need one. You don't have to have a narrative to be a game.
I'm not saying it does.
The game is getting better
No,
at figuring
you're
out the
missing my point.
lines.
What I'm saying is, for it to be number 2, it has to have it. It has to have that.
It doesn't though. The list
For me,
says it
it does.
doesn't.
This list is wrong. We've established this list is wrong. You're comfortable with Tetris being number 2.
Would it be on my list number 2? Probably not. But
That's
I
not the
mean,
question
my
asked.
list was number 1.
That's not the
Am I
question
comfortable?
asked.
Am I comfortable on this based on what they did? Sure. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
You talk about somebody with no taste.
Yeah, Tetris is fantastic. Tetris, I mean, people love Tetris.
Ken, I'm
It's been
not
invented
saying
so many
narrative.
different ways.
See, Ken, this is where people are misunderstanding. I'm not saying narrative is the beginning and end of all gaming. What I'm saying is for a top 50 of all time list, and you put this as number two. No, I think
Just no.
no.
Um, I love Tetris. I've bought so many different versions of it. What I feel like I hear something. Is she watching Knight Rider in the other room? I feel like I'm hearing the Knight Rider theme. Sorry. Um, yeah, for me, I'm okay with Tetris being up here that high.
I'm not.
There
And
we
I'm
go.
big,
All right. I know you don't. I know you don't like number one. Number one, Breath of the Wild.
top five, not top number one.
Okay. So hey, what? So we're running out of time. Give me your top five then. After we got to the list, what's your top five?
No, hold on, let's go back.
Go
Would you
back.
keep this as number one? Is this your number one game of all time?
Is it mine? No. Chrono Trigger is. Yeah, but the Chrono Trigger was number 40. That's fine. When we did the first part of this, I was saying we both agreed this isn't our top four. This isn't our top list, right? It's
Yeah.
what Rolling Stones came out with. I didn't hate the list. I would move stuff around, but I'm not looking at it like, oh, they got everything wrong and they don't understand video games. I kind of get their logic. I do wish there was an addendum of like we said, a video game podcast that showed what this is, so we can get a better idea of, or not video game, a video podcast that gives a better idea of how they pick their selections. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it being this high up. I do understand it changed gaming. Again, I'm not a Nintendo person. I think what it did and I think what it did on the system that it's on, um, I have no problem with it being up there. For me, it's just not a game that I particularly care for as far as like something I would run out to go get it. Um, you yourself have said you've never beaten it, so it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not
I mean,
saying
how many games have I not beaten though?
it's, that's another thing to me. Like, I understand this whole do not finish games and do not finish. I understand that. For me, the accomplishment of finishing a game and that feeling you get after you finish the experience in that story is to take me to transport me to another world. So I do get why this is up there. I don't agree with it, but I do get why it's up there. Um,
So what's your top 50 before we run out of time? I'm not top 50. Your top five. Do you know it?
um,
Like a combination of what you would want and what's on this list.
Last of Us,
Uh huh.
GTA 5
Five.
is two.
Yep.
Three would probably be somewhere around um, either, and this isn't now they're not in any particular order, but these five games are top five for me. Um, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, Metal Gear Solid, and uh, that's four. Uh, and Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Cool.
I, I would definitely put. What about you? Top
Oh
five.
God.
Chrono Trigger's
Top
one.
five games. Yeah, my top five games. Chrono Trigger. Probably Final Fantasy VI. Um, maybe Mischief Makers. Um, what am I go back and back and back and back? Mm, something with a fighting game. Maybe Civilization 4.
Okay.
Um, and then number five.
Gun to your head. Give me another
Need
one.
to think. I know. I'm trying to think. I'm trying not to think of recency bias. I'm like, I really love this game, but I'm gonna go back and play. Oh, A game that I always talk about that never got enough love. Henry
Hmm.
Hatsworth, number 5. Henry Hatsworth. Yeah, he needs to beat a game. I can walk away.
Uh, yeah.
All right, folks.
Yeah. What got you through the week real quick? So that's our top 50.
Um, somebody, yeah, somebody talked about playing or about me loving side quests. I think I'm 150 hours into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at this point. I know I could have beaten it 30 hours ago, but I'm just trying to do a bunch of side quests right now, knowing that I could go and do it in the hard version with updated stuff, but for some reason I want to do it before that. So right now playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is getting me through. Oh, and the rookie's back.
Uh, yeah, you have fun with that. Um,
Hmm.
I'm not with that propaganda anymore. Although I will
Uh-huh.
still I have to admit I love Vincent D'Onofrio and Law and Order, and I need to go back and watch that original season. But um, yeah, I'm not with that. For me, finish What If, finish Silo, still playing Last of Us Part Two. Um, cannot wait for the show. HBO Max is we're in an abusive relationship because I want to cancel this fucking service, and I need to. Severance is back. I'm gonna start watching that. I need to start Skeleton Crew, but I'll start after football season's over. Um, uh, so yeah, uh,
Cool.
yep. That's it. We made our cutoff time by 1 minute, 10:29. So Michael's going to go start watching Dark Water. We'll try to be back next week. I don't know if we'll be live. We may be taped. We did do the Daredevil Born Again trailer. Go check that out. Get our opinion. Also, that was not White Tiger. That was Muse, the serial killer from the. I I don't know whose run Muse is from, but go check it out. Um, So that's it. Yeah, go Ravens. Ravens winning the Super Bowl. Calling it.
Cool.
Later.
All right. Later, folks. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Find our little thingies. Cool. Where's this? This one?
Be safe.
There it is.